This year, we've seen an increase in avalanche incidents in the U.S. So before you hit the slopes this weekend, we wanted to bring an expert to talk about how and why there's been an increase in accidents and what we can do to stay safe. Jeff Thompson, the director from the Idaho Avalanche Center, joins us now. Thanks, Jeff, for taking the time. And first off, I want to know if there's been more avalanches this year or if it's more people out in the backcountry. Do we know the answer to that question?
Yeah, we do, and I think the answer is both. We have seen a surge of users in the backcountry this year, not only in the west, but in North Idaho and western Washington. But it's also a unique year around the west, up here as well, with a layer that's just sort of wreaking havoc and kind of keeping us on our toes this year. So sort of a unique situation.
Yeah, and with everybody heading out into the backcountry, is it the conditions that are making it so deadly or the influx of people with COVID going on?
You know, I think the big driver is avalanche conditions that are out there right now. I really think that's really what's causing a lot of it, but the increased use definitely compounds that situation as well.
And we just picked up a little bit of recent snow, and I know this season has been all over the place. What does recent snow mean for that avalanche danger?
Well, it is going to complicate the problem. Any new snow like that is basically going to create potentially a new problem. But we are still concerned about that layer about a meter down, that buried surface soil layer that's widespread. You know, it's from February 6th, and that's what's causing these big avalanches and recent avalanche incidents.
So with that surface layer buried down there from February 6th, what kind of avalanches does that mean the danger is higher for?
Well, one thing that's unique about these types of buried layers is that it can propagate or travel a long distance. So it can potentially be triggered from standing in the flats, even below an avalanche path. And so I think that's something that can catch people by surprise when you're out recreating, is that you don't necessarily have to be on that path to trigger these large avalanches.
And, you know, when it comes, you just talked about people triggering some of these large avalanches. I think as a meteorologist, one of the most interesting statistics about avalanches is the percentage that's human triggered. It's much more than 50%, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. 90% of avalanches that happen are, you know, where there's an incident, are triggered by somebody in that party. And that's definitely been the case this year. I mean, we're up to 25 incidents nationally. And if you read the details on them, a lot of times there's human factors that could have been changed, that could have potentially had a different outcome.
And Jeff, one more thing. I know you said that you are monitoring everything all season long to see how the snowpack is reacting. What else do you guys do there at the Avalanche Center to keep people safe?
You know, we have our forecast every Tuesday and Friday, and that's where we apply the danger scale to the avalanches that we're seeing out there, to the avalanche conditions. And then we also teach a lot of avalanche classes. If you go to our website, idahopanhandleavalanche.org, you'll see links to our classes. So if you're a never ever all the way up to an experienced backcountry user, we have classes for you. And whether you're a snowmobiler, skier, snowboarder, we try to cater to all backcountry users in avalanche terrain.
Do you have any advice for someone, say, thinking they're going to get out and start using the backcountry for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we just touched on it. You know, I think the two things is, you know, get the gear, but you really need to know how to use that gear. So take an avalanche level 1 course or an avalanche awareness course at a minimum. There are a lot of online resources these days, especially when you start looking at the different avalanche centers and some of the virtual learning that's out there. So get the knowledge, get the forecast, and get the gear.
Love those tips. 3 big ones: knowledge, forecast, and gear. And Jeff, you know, there are a lot of people watching at home who are thinking, hey, all the snow in the mountains sounds great. What about heading to a ski resort or something like that? Is there still a big danger there?
You know, ski resorts, the ski patrol at the ski resorts, that's their job, is to keep it safe within the ropes. You know, but with that said, you know, Mother Nature is a strong force. But ski patrol, I mean, you can rest assured at ski areas that your chances of being caught in an avalanche or being associated with an avalanche are very, very minimal.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jeff, for taking the time today. I know everyone at home is watching and they're all saying, hey, it's a lot of information. And could you give us that website one more time so people, if they want to, can sign up for one of your courses?
Absolutely. IdahoPanhandleAvalanche.org. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right. That's Jeff Thompson, director at the Idaho Avalanche Center. And thank you very much, Jeff, for taking the time to talk with us.